friends, I am officially addicted to buying these Goodwill mystery palettes. This is pre-auction time, so they give you like 15 to 20 minutes to look through the palettes so you can decide which ones you want to buy. On this day, they did have a couple of shoe palettes. I saw some Hush Puppies. I found some new with tags, Target shoes. I keep saying this, one day I will buy a shoe palette. It's just, I'm a one-woman show, you guys, and these shoe palettes are a lot of work. I mean, all of these palettes are a lot of work, but the shoe palettes just, they're very heavy. Even this one that's not completely full, this one ended up selling for $65. There's like, she said, I think she said there's like 200 pairs of shoes in there. So, and I'm not the biggest shoe seller, so I decided to pass on that. This brand, Shade and Shore, never heard of it, but they were new with the tags, and then I turned the tag around and it's Target. This palette had a lot of new with the tags, Target shoes. It had some Brooks shoes. By the way, unpopular opinion, Brooks are my favorite comfort sneaker, and their styles are getting a little bit better. They're very expensive. They run you like $160, especially the running shoes. I discovered them when I was training for the LA Marathon. 10 out of 10. If you're looking for a comfortable sneaker, I highly recommend them. Anywho, this is not a Brooks ad. So I did end up picking a palette on this day, you guys, and I paid the most I have ever paid for one of these palettes. Drum roll, please. Comment down below what you think I paid. If you are new to these videos, I'm just curious. Let me know what you think I paid. I'll tell you shortly, but I ended up picking up this palette right here. I looked through the top pieces and I saw a new with tags Zara piece. I saw some Speedos that I'm not sure if they're sample pieces because they're new with the tags, but then they also have what looks like to me like a sample tag. I found Lovers and Friends in this palette, so I was like, this is my palette. And it was easy for me to identify it because it has a big Taiwan sticker on the bottom, which you'll see in a minute. But because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm going to bid on this one. And then you guys, I forget. I'm like, which palette did I say I was going to bid on? This was easy. A lot of you ask me, how do you get these to your car? They have wheels, you guys. So you don't actually unload the palette here. You wheel it to your car and you unload it there. So while they are heavy and there are hundreds of items in these things, they do have wheels, so it makes it really easy to move. It also has handles, you guys, so you can pull it and push it. It has handles on both sides, so it's very heavy, and it's very comical watching me move this to my car, but I do it. So I actually took you guys on a little ride. I can't film myself pushing it because you're not supposed to, like, you know, film yourself in here. So I just put you guys in the palette and you're just going for a little sky ride of Los Angeles, I guess. So this is me moving it to my palette. So they have a parking area where you can roll it up to, and then you can sort through it and go through it there. You guys, I am the only person that comes here that buys one palette. Most of the people that come here are regulars. I think all of them are regulars. They're very nice to me. I am the only person that is not fluent in Spanish, and they all like speak English to me because they know I can only pick up bits and pieces of what they're saying. Like, they help me park. They are so nice to me, but they buy like 5 to 10 palettes and I'm the only one who buys one. I think it's pretty amazing. A lot of them told me they're resellers and they resell this stuff in Southern California and in Mexico, and they're really interested in like the hard goods and the shoes, and they do buy clothing palettes also, but they're also resellers. So here's my palette, you guys. It's right next to my car. It was a tighter day, like there wasn't as much space because there were a lot more people, so I couldn't like set you up in my trunk like I did last time. So what I had to do was, I always take bags. One of you recommended in the last video, you were like, you know, you should take bags so you can separate. I always have bags, you guys. Sometimes I just don't show it on camera, but I always have bags. So this is the bag of stuff that's going to the women's shelter. If you're new around here, whenever I buy these palettes, at least once a month, I take probably like 100 to 200 pieces to my local women's shelter, just stuff that I'm not going to sell, or I'm not interested in reselling this in really good condition. I highly recommend, if you have an excess of clothing, shoes, whatever, they need almost anything, you guys, food, they're always looking to take donations. So I love buying these palettes because I find things to resell, and I also am able to donate to my local women's shelter. So it's a win-win. So one bag is for the women's shelter, and then the Hulkin is the things that I'm going to resell. So right on top here is the Lovers and Friends dress that I found. It looks like Goodwill wanted $9.99 for this. It didn't sell, so it ended up in one of these palettes. It's fully smocked. I found it online. It retailed for like over $100, so that was exciting. Then, friends, this is the bag in my trunk of all the items I am planning to keep and sell somewhere. There's an amazing item in that bag that I'm going to show you. So this is me digging through a ton of baby clothes. A lot of times I like to take the baby clothes to my women's shelter, but that onesie was so stained. And then the bag to the left is all the stuff, like I said, that I'm taking to the women's shelter. I found this new with tags. I always forget how to pronounce that brand. Monteo. Anyways, boutique brand. Sometimes you can find it at like Ross, TJ Maxx. It actually does okay for me. I pick it up at the Goodwill outlet, so I was definitely going to take that in this mystery palette. I've mostly only sold it on Poshmark, but yeah, I've sold it a couple of times over the last year. I don't know why, but every time I buy these palettes lately, I find a ton of free people. You know that last palette I just got, the most recent video I posted? I found a ton of free people there, and it's already sold in a live sale. Sold it on Whatnot. I found this equipment, 100% silk top, new with the tags, you guys, $278. I can't even speak. Like, after that, I was like, I don't even need to dig through the rest of this palette. I can leave. That was on the top, you guys. The haul from this palette is going to be amazing. I don't want to make this video super long, but when I saw that, I was like, you know what? This palette was worth $100 I paid. So that's how much I paid, you guys. Some of you might be like, Nikki, that is a great deal. Here are the Speedo pieces I found. I found like 10 of these Speedo pieces that I'm pretty sure are sample pieces, but I'm still going to sell them and just list them as sample pieces. So that was also awesome in the Hulk and that goes. So I've never paid more than $60 for these palettes. Usually, like I said, the people are so nice. We don't bid against each other on the clothing palettes because they always have like at least 20 to 30 clothing palettes. But this one lady, she and I both saw the good in this palette. Like she looked through it, I looked through it, and I was like, oh, when I saw the Lovers and Friends, there was a ton of new tag Speedos on top. I was like, I'm getting this. So for the first time ever, she and I were actually bidding against each other, and it got up to 100, and she bid out. And I was like, dang it, man. I've just been so spoiled, you guys. I've been buying these for like 7 months now, and I've never paid more than $60. The bidding on the clothing palettes always starts at $60, and I've always just won it at the opening bid. Look at this. I had a ton of MAC Studio, a ton of Revolve pieces, a ton of new with tag Zara. This might be the best Goodwill mystery palette I've bought in 7. I don't know. I've gotten some really good ones, but this was awesome. This new with tag Zara skirt. The equipment sweater. This is a new to me brand, Carmar. Very interesting brand. They make really cool jackets. Like this is one of their more basic jackets. They make some with like some really cool prints, and the comps are all over the place. They're anywhere from like $40 to $100. So new to me brand. This palette, I was sad to pay $100 at first, and then I was like, I'm gonna make so much selling this. I mean, just the equipment top will put me hopefully in the profit. All right, friends, this is the after of buying a palette with hundreds of items and then buying another palette with hundreds of items. So I bought that Goodwill mystery palette. I processed that. Haul coming soon. And then when I got home, I had a palette that I ordered from Boutique by the Box. Not sponsored. I paid for this with my own money. I do have a discount code with them. It's just NikkiBeautyBlis, just like my channel. I'll put that on the screen. It's also always linked in the description box. But full disclosure, friends, I paid for this with my own money, not sponsored or anything. So I bought some Stitch Fix items from them. I bought some American Eagle clothing, Aerie bras. What else did I get? Stitch Fix shoes. Oh boy, I got a lot, you guys. Spanx and Lulu's. So total, it was like 320 items. I did make some smaller packs and offer it in my reseller group. Shameless plug, link down below. I started a reseller group last year and I love it. And occasionally I offer them like wholesale deals. I make like smaller packs because I buy things in such large quantity. I offer like smaller packs of like 5 to 10 items. I feel like it's great if you're on a budget or you just want to try out some inventory, or even if you have a lot lot and you want to try out smaller packs, you know. So I sold 2 bundles already to 2 of my group members. I only offer this to group members, you guys, because I always tell you this. I'm a one-woman show. I have 50 million jobs, so I can't offer it to my YouTube channel. Maybe one day when I get an assistant, I can offer it to you guys, but for now, I offer it to the group. It's linked down below. I offer also like pre-owned wholesale bundles in the group. So anywho, that's all linked down below. But I will say my favorite out of all the items I've ordered so far from Boutique by the Box are the shoe box that I ordered. I did a full video on, I'll link that down below, and then the Lulus. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I think it's currently sold out. You can check their website, but they had it was like a box of 40 or 50 dresses. It was such a good deal, you guys, and the dresses are all new. And some of them are dresses that are still on the Lulu's website that retail for like over $100. I actually ended up getting